How you doing, guys? It's your boy. And from that footage that you saw in the beginning, that was me dropping off some orders that I got earlier. I left my SD card at the house, so I couldn't actually film that part, but oh well, that's okay. But anyway, aside from that delivery, which paid $14 in total for about 4 miles, which isn't too shabby at all, I'm actually going to talk about Platinum today, give you guys my overall thoughts on it, the pros, the cons, and why I not only use it, but need it in order to get DoorDash orders in my market in the first place. So I figured I'd shake things up a little bit with that. Since I like to try to end things on a more uplifting note, I'm gonna start with the cons. And the biggest con that I have with DoorDash's Platinum is you're not even guaranteed to get high pay orders. They say that you have highest priority for high pay orders, but what does that even mean? If you have to compete against like 30, 40, 50 other drivers on the road, and many of them have Platinum, then who's getting the highest paying order? Who's getting the highest priority if everyone supposedly has that, you know? I mean, at the end of the day, if you're doing these gig apps, you're at the mercy of the algorithm. You're at the mercy of whatever these algorithms feel like sending you at any given point in time. People try to make it seem like that, oh, you can hack the algorithm and, oh, here's these secrets to the higher paying orders, but there's no guarantee for any of that. And that same thing applies with Platinum. You know, at the end of the day, you're going out there, you're taking all these orders, you're spending all this time taking all these orders, even if they're not great. A lot of them are probably pretty bad or mediocre at best. And you don't even feel like you're truly rewarded for your effort. Okay, we just got another order. So it's a $5 2.5 mile Chipotle order. Yeah, I've noticed since yesterday, actually probably the day before yesterday, there has been a very glaring lack of high pay orders. So the order that explicitly states high pay order on it, it's got the freaking Platinum sticker on it. But whatever, I'm gonna take the order anyway because we're trying to get that AR back up again anyway. Last I looked, it was at 79. Quite a fall from grace. I used to have a 100% acceptance rate on DoorDash. Feel free to check out this playlist of live streams here, where I had a bunch of people following along with my journeyest of journeys of pursuing a 100% acceptance rate with Platinum. If that sounds cray-cray, it is. If that's something that I might do again, well, don't put it past me. Well, let's go pick up this Chipotle order while I keep talking. All right, guys, just got the order. There's only a thing of burrito and utensils, so easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Now, don't get it twisted. I'm not trying to say that you won't potentially experience a higher likelihood of seeing these orders or even getting the higher paying orders at all, but it's really just the fact that you're putting in this, you know, such a commitment, all the time and effort to get Platinum, right? You're taking more orders, you're probably spending more time out, and the reward isn't even guaranteed. It's just priority. You know, and what that priority is based on remains a mystery. As far as I'm concerned, it's just arbitrary. It's just a label, you know? But I digress. Anyway, let's drop this order off before I talk about the next con that I have with DoorDash Platinum. All right, just made it. Yeah, it says no doorbell. So we're not going to ring it. Well, here we go. We got ourselves another not high pay order from DoorDash. It's paying $5.75 for about 2.5 miles. It's 5 items at Dollar General. We're going to take it. My next biggest con with DoorDash Platinum is the fact that even if you have Platinum, you can still get locked out of Dash Now. If you do earn by offer, you can dash whenever you want. There's no restriction on the amount of drivers or anything like that. But if you want to do Dash Now, or if Dash Now is preferable in your market, you can still get locked out because they limit the amount of drivers online at a given time, you know? So again, it just sort of ties into the whole, like, you're working your butt off, you're busting your hump towards getting Platinum, only to then not even have a guaranteed reward for your effort. You know what I mean? So I just find that very fishy. And if anything, I think it should prioritize the Platinum drivers, you know, being able to do earn by time instead of just X amount of drivers on the road, you know? But oh well. There are 2 more big cons that I want to talk about when it comes to DoorDash Platinum. But before I do that, I'm going to run inside real quick so I get this order done. I'll meet you guys back out here in just a bit. Okay, just got our next order, and there was some ice cream that they were supposed to get. And unfortunately, they didn't want a substitute because it was out of stock. So I don't have Pro Shopper anymore yet again. Oh boy. But oh well, let's go drop this off. Actually, that's another video idea too. Pros and cons of Pro Shopper. Okay, just made it. Hey.
Hi.
I had to get the 5 milligram melatonin because they didn't have the 10, if that's okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Have a good one.
Thank you so much.
The next biggest con that I have with DoorDash Platinum is that they do not explicitly raise the base pay for high pay orders. You ever get one of those $5 1 mile McDonald's orders as a Platinum Dasher and it says, high pay order? And then you go drop it off, $3 tip, $2 base pay. They don't explicitly raise the base pay. And they also don't say that they raise the base pay either. So even though it is nice to get orders with generous customers, at the same time, it's very deceiving because it makes it seem like DoorDash is going to pay us more rather than continue to put all the pressure on the consumer, right? Because I completely empathize with the consumer when it comes to all the service fees, delivery fees, the fees of breathing oxygen, you know, that DoorDash charges people just to use their platform. I'll talk about that in a separate video as well. Either way, it just comes off very deceiving that they're going to send us high pay orders and they themselves don't even pay us more for them. You know what I mean? This last con that I want to talk about is a bit more subjective and your value in it is going to vary from individual to individual. But at the end of the day, Platinum is just a label and there's no prestige to it, right? Now, the way that DoorDash props up Platinum, they make it seem like the best thing since sliced bread. You know, it's this exclusive club of elite, hardworking, dedicated people that are getting all the rewards, they're getting all the benefits. When in reality, the relationship most of us have that do Platinum, we're just doing Platinum in order to even get orders, to even make money at all, you know? Rather than being this extremely valuable asset, it just feels more like a necessity and you're still ultimately not being valued for your dedication, your hard work, and your effort. You would think that Platinum is supposed to be this prestige, when at the end of the day, it's more of a necessity and a mirage. But before I talk about the pros of being a Platinum Dasher, if you guys have been watching this far, type in the comment section down below whether or not you use DoorDash, what your current acceptance rate is, and whether or not you are a Platinum Dasher like your boy. And also don't forget to hit that like button and do all that other algorithm stuff. With all that being said, it's not like there isn't any value to being a Platinum Dasher, because I think the biggest pro that many of us can agree on is Dash Now. So that's a pretty big deal, being able to dash whenever you need to. It's not really when you want to, because let's be honest, most of us treat gig work like a full-time job, and a lot of us already have a full-time job on top of that. Or you're crazy like me, and you do gig work as a full-time job. This ties into the next pro of being a Platinum Dasher, which is the early access to scheduling. There's a lot of value to being able to dash whenever you need to, and there's definitely a lot of value in being able to schedule when you need to on top of that. And you figure there's all kinds of scenarios where that could be quite beneficial, like maybe you want to work overnight, but you can't get hours without Platinum to work overnight. Maybe you live in a market that's just constantly gray without being part of the rewards program. So therefore, you're not really making money with DoorDash. And if DoorDash is one of your better apps or even your best app in your respective market, you could potentially find value in being a Platinum Dasher. If for nothing else, just being able to go on the schedule and dash when you need to. Now, I know one of my biggest gripes with Platinum is the fact there's no real guarantee to getting a high pay order. But one of the pros of being a Platinum Dasher is you may see high-paying orders. We're talking the orders that actually have the plus sign next to them. We're talking about like the bigger $20, $30+ shopping orders, or the quote-unquote catering orders that have the plus sign next to them as well. You are more likely to see those with Platinum. In my experience in my market, and this will vary from individual to individual, I don't see shopping orders that pay at or above $20 in my market without Platinum. Even more so without Pro Shopper, but that's for a separate video. And as far as the orders that have the plus sign next to them, I've never seen one without Platinum. I know a lot of the time it's kind of deceptive when they put the plus sign for it to be like an extra quarter, an extra 50 cents, but it is still neat nonetheless that you're getting a little more value out of an order that you already consider reasonable. So I will consider that a positive of being a Platinum Dasher with DoorDash. This next point is going to vary from person to person, but as a Platinum Dasher, I've also experienced more helpful live agents. So I've inquired with live agents about the Pro Shopper thing that I made a video about. You can check in this time card here. And I've also had plenty of other experiences where a customer would just give me a completely unjustified 1-star rating or some other baloney like that, you know? And they actually did solve the problem compared to prior to being a Platinum Dasher. I would never reach a live agent because they were never helpful. They would just read the prompt and they would just give you some BS answer as to why they couldn't help you fix the problem. So personally, as a Platinum Dasher, I would say the support team is actually supportive. Considering all the pros and cons, I figured a good way to tie everything together is to talk about why I'm specifically a Platinum Dasher. Even though I have a polarizing relationship with DoorDash, I'm sure a lot of you guys do too. But at the end of the day, in order for me to get hours in my market on my bike, I have to maintain Platinum. So that's first and foremost. So if I want to continue getting orders in electric bike mode and have the algorithm tailored specifically to electric bike mode, and to even be able to get hours at all, I have to maintain Platinum. It's sort of a catch-22. When you're a Platinum Dasher, you have to take the majority of what's sent to you. Even if you're part of the point system, depending on your market, you still have to take a lot of orders to be safe when it comes to maintaining Platinum. But in my market, we still have the whole tiering thing where you got to have a minimum 70% acceptance rate, 4.7 out of 5 average customer rating, and 95+% completion rate. So in order for me to get hours and to be able to do orders, use DoorDash at all, I have to maintain Platinum. Now, that wasn't always the case because up until early 2023, I used to do DoorDash and these other apps with a car. But from that point on, I decided to be a bike dasher. But of course, I didn't specifically have a bike on my account at the time. So I had to basically allow them to permit me to deliver with an e-bike, even though I was getting offers as if I was in a car. I figured I wanted to try something different. I decided to go for Platinum back in July 2024. And then I made the accidental discovery that I can actually get hours in bike mode and have the algorithm tailored specifically to being on an e-bike. So I was like, wow, okay, that's awesome. So ever since that point, I've made it paramount to maintain Platinum. And of course, the big catch-22 is that while I do generally get shorter commute orders, and they usually pay comparable compared to when I used to dash with a car, at the same time, I have to continue taking the majority of orders in my area to maintain Platinum. And given the fact that DoorDash is by far the best app that I currently have available, and also the fact that apps like Instacart and Walmart Spark I was deactivated from, not going to get into that. That gives me less options compared to some other people. And with DoorDash being the undisputed #1 in my market, again, it's like I do depend on DoorDash. I mean, it's not even just the fact that I'm a Platinum Dasher, right? It's also just the fact that DoorDash is one of the only good apps in my market anymore. That's sort of the relationship that I have with DoorDash, while also considering the pros and cons that I discussed. Now, if you guys have anything that you want to add as far as your experiences with Platinum, whether or not you've done Platinum, what do you think about it, feel free to let me know in the comment section down below. And on that note, I'll wrap up the video. If you enjoyed it, if you found it helpful, useful, educational, entertaining, yada, yada, yada.
I'm on 3rd Avenue, minding my own business, and yada, yada, yada. I get a free massage and a facial.
Wow. What a succinct story.
So just do all that algorithm stuff. And while you're at it, consider getting a channel membership with us. It's only 99 cents, and it gives you exclusive benefits, including but not limited to the corniest emojis on the internet. And if you look for other interesting things and stuff, my link tree is in the description box down below. And on that note, I love you guys, appreciate the continued support of my channel, and I will see you next time. Take care.